I'm excited about today. I'm excited to participate in the family mingle today. I think Diz does an excellent job with that to get everybody warmed up. I was really interested in seeing Sean's message that we are actually creating an entire program that we're going to be introducing to our influencers in our influencer meetings coming up in a couple of weeks, and then in our regional events in September. That are centered on the formula peak, close, and drip. And that formula to me is golden. I think it is the way that we create a solid business on satisfied, happy, loyal customers. And we're going to talk more and more about that in upcoming Weekly 20 Summer Edition trainings. Customers are gold. We get customers through our own passion, our own knowledge, our own discoveries, sharing those discoveries, as Diz mentioned today, sharing those discoveries with others. The discovery process is beautiful because when we discover things, we feel like our life is enhanced. And discovery always leads to a sale. Pitches don't always lead to a sale, but discoveries always lead to a sale because you're enhancing someone's knowledge base and their life. You're making their life better. You're giving them something that they didn't know before, particularly something about their body. And so, we've noticed this in LoveBiome in every presentation that we've done about our products and our messaging, that when we see the eyes get wider and the heads start to nod, we know this is when we're connecting. This is when we are allowing people to discover things. And so as you kind of consider your business, consider the process of sharing and contacting and so forth, communicating with your friends and potential customers and so forth, allow them to discover things. Allow them to discover what you've discovered. And know that if something is new to you, it's very, very likely new to your friend also. And there's nothing better in life than to learn something new. And so we started with our beautiful brand, our LoveBiome brand. This is the brand. This is the time. This is LoveBiome. We are dominating and going to dominate the microbiome health space, the era of the microbiome. We do this through our messaging, our products, our passion, through the uniqueness of our approach, our passion for plants, our belief that plants are the secret to all of the miracles of the human body, and particularly microbiome health. Now, I want to start with a little reminder. I call this, let's build a loyal customer. Just a little thing to kind of get us going today, maybe augments what Diz was communicating earlier today. We don't ask people to test our products. We encourage them to begin perhaps the first comprehensive microbiome health program they have ever been introduced to. Then after they begin, we have a personal commitment to make sure they have the best experience possible, ultimately to convert them to be a lifelong loyal customer. So the way that you approach this whole peak, close, drip idea, really, really important that we get our minds right about this. That we're not out asking people test it. Oh, you ought to test this. You ought to test this. See what it does. That's not the right approach, because most people that you are encountering, as a matter of fact, I would say maybe all people that you're encountering, have never had a comprehensive microbiome health program. A lot of people take probiotics or whatever. But in terms of having a comprehensive microbiome health program, most have never been introduced to that. And so that's what we're doing. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that the great thing that we can help people for the first time in their life, perhaps, despite how many hundreds of supplement products they bought? We're helping people perhaps start the first comprehensive microbiome health program they've ever done. And then after they begin, our commitment is to make sure that they have the best experience possible. through the shareables, through the from the first sip program to dripping information, scientific information, validation, testimonials, just new discoveries like Diz mentioned today. We build them into a lifelong loyal customer. And the value of a lifelong loyal customer is like gold. It's like gold, you guys. Okay, let's go to this next one. I wanted just to put this in because Adam every week talks about weekly earnings. And if we're not careful, we begin to think that weekly earnings is the entire income portion of the LoveBiome opportunity. Of course, it's not. Weekly earnings are one piece of the LoveBiome income system. And just for your review, and again, in a future summer edition weekly 20, we'll talk more in detail about this. But just as a review, what Adam recognizes every week are the weekly earners, the individuals who are every week gaining new customers, retaining customers, dripping to customers, turning customers into loyal, loyal lifelong customers. And those earnings, those weekly earnings, are 15% of our level 1 volume, which is extraordinary in our industry. So that's 15% of all of our customer volume is we pay it out weekly, and 5% of our level 2 volume as well. And then and also our customer development bonuses and retail profits. So when every week when Adam, I forgot my own son's name, every week when Adam does the recognition of weekly earnings, this is what he's talking about, the weekly portion of our income that we pay every single week. And of course, every month, we pay the rest of the unilevel, the 5% remaining on level 2, and then levels 3 through 6. That you qualify, more and more as you become builder and leader and star and elite. And then all bonuses, all the builder bonuses, all of the leadership bonuses, infinity bonuses, and so forth are all paid monthly. And so what we always say is 4 great weeks make 1 fantastic month. The reason we say that is because if you are taking care of your business and your customers and you're building customers every week, if your name is on that top 10 list every week, I guarantee you're going to have a smile on your face when the monthly checks are written. And I'm old enough to remember when checks were actually written and not electrons, but still, you know what I mean, when the payments are made. And you will be happy. And so 4 great weeks. That's why we do the weekly recognition, you guys. So that's just a quick reminder, and we'll go more into detail when we have our training on the compensation plan. So let's talk about Next, Balance, and Detox. I'm so excited about this because this is really, if you go back to the very beginning, almost to the beginning where the world began, where Sean and Cody and I and our world began, this is where it began with our discovery of certain technologies and plants and ingredients and our desire to create 2 amazing beverages. And we call them Next, the brand name Next, because in our mind, this was the next generation of our life, of our evolution, our nutritional evolution, our development evolution. And so Next seemed like a logical brand to call them. Balance and Detox are the 2 products. And so our goal here during this discussion here today is discovery and conversion. For each of you to discover something new that you didn't know before about Next Beverages, and for you to become more converted, which will in turn help you convert more and more people to our amazing products. So the origins of Next Beverages, let's talk about this for just a minute. The origins of the Next Beverages started with our passion and curiosity. This goes back 25 plus years, actually. And I'm talking about Cody, Sean, and I now. I'm talking personally because we're the 3 that kind of planted the seed, the original LoveBiome seed. Obviously, our partners joined us, and then you all joined us, and we're all one big, great family now. But originally, Cody, Sean, and I, we began with our passion and curiosity of plants. This has been part of our genetic makeup or our DNA, I guess you could say, for decades. and also our experience with local traditions and history. We began to realize, over decades, we began to realize that geographically there are miracles waiting to be discovered, and not just miracles waiting to be discovered, but how those miracles are sourced and come together, and how you can put A plus B together to create a greater outcome than either A or B by themselves. And so this is what really, kind of motivated us to go forward and do some really amazing creations. Our global search for the most beneficial and unique ingredients. We started actually with a very defined location, one particular country, where we kind of learned and matured and developed this love and appreciation. But then we kind of zoomed out and realized that the world holds so many unique geographies and cultures and traditions. And then finally, technology. And so if you add these together, our passion and curiosity, our experience with local traditions and history, the global search for the most beneficial ingredients, and add to that new technology, this is where the creation of LoveBiome products really began. LoveBiome was created as a celebration of botanical discoveries. We created the term plant life gives life. This really embodies the idea of our passion and curiosity. We believe that the answers that we're looking for, the answers to microbiome health specifically, lie in plants. And the more pure, the way that they are sourced, the more original they can be, the better it's going to be. And so this kind of drives us. This is our driving mantra: plant life gives life. And you can see that it's behind me on my Zoom image, because this to me is the, I don't know, it's kind of the motto of LoveBiome. To really understand the heart of LoveBiome, you have to understand the field of study that drives this whole process. And this may be new to you. You've probably heard this before, but I want to talk about this for a little bit. The term is ethnobotany. Ethnobotany is really the driver of the desire to discover the miracles in nature. Ethnobotany is the study of cultural traditions and knowledge and the applications of plants. Each culture in the world has a rich plant tradition. These traditions combine, if we are smart enough, we combine those traditions to create amazing new product ideas. And this, by the way, is a rich field of study that is the origins of so many of the nutritional and medicinal and pharmaceutical products that have become common in our world today. Many, many of them began with traditions that have been formulated over the last 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 years. Each culture has a rich botanical tradition that has developed over thousands of years and passed from generation to generation. These traditions often have accelerated modern research. And so these are the inputs into our thinking as we began to envision the two products that we're talking about today, that we wanted these products to celebrate tradition and culture and geography and history. And so that we, instead of just in a lab in Tulsa, Oklahoma, throwing a bunch of ingredients together, we wanted these products to celebrate the traditions of various geographies of the world, various cultures of the world. And we believed that if we do, we would have products that would do the most good to the human body. Each geography has unique characteristics that create botanical miracles. This is why a truly global approach is necessary to find the best ingredient sources. And so people ask, well, what's the difference between LoveBiome and other products? Or what's the difference between Next Balance and some other beverage, or Next Detox and some other beverage? I'm telling you the differences in this discussion. I hope that you're taking note of this. It began with who we are and our approach and our celebration of cultures and geography and traditions. This one that I'm showing you on the screen right now is a very big key, that we have to expose ourselves to the geographies that exist in the world, not just to one tiny little spot, but to really expose ourselves to the global approach, global geography. And this is why a truly global approach is necessary to find the best ingredients. The best ingredients are in balance and detox, because we look the world over for them. Each human need drives innovation and discovery. The LoveBiome products are a direct result of our passion to address microbiome health through investigating cultures and geographies. And so you have culture and geography and human need driving the development of our next beverage products. This is the Next brand message. When you ask what the Next brand message stands for, each culture has a rich botanical tradition. Each geography has unique characteristics, and each human need drives innovation. This is where we come from. This is our DNA, the DNA of Next Beverages. When you think about cultural traditions, I'm going to mention just 4, but there are actually many. One is the Polynesian and island culture. Medicinal plants made their way from island to island over thousands of years and have become a rich tradition that is unique to those locales, to that geography. The rainforest culture. The unique, pristine environment of global rainforests have created cultural traditions that we're now just discovering, unique to that environment. The Middle East spice and herb culture. Spices, teas, and herbs have been part of the medicinal tradition in the Middle East for thousands of years, well cataloged and well known. It's really interesting because we think of spices in terms of their culinary benefit, but historically, spices, teas, and herbs have been the foundation of their medicinal tradition in the Middle East. And finally, the high mountain cultures that master the unique geography of the high altitude environment. And so these are just 4 of what I'm talking about, 4 cultural traditions that have grown in different geographies throughout the world. And then the geography of plants. We've talked about these before. When we first began our company, it was called Global Organics. In our vision, we envisioned 4 specific geographies that we were going to kind of put our attention to in order to find the best ingredients. The first one was just an organic family farm that focused on the nutrient and phytonutrient-rich products from a simple family organic garden. The second geography is the remote areas, focusing on the amazing discoveries of superfruits and superfoods that have come from remote, pristine areas of the world. The geographies the cultures that I just mentioned are a big part of that. The exotic markets that represent those spices and herbs and teas and so forth, the Middle East and China, India, are perfect examples of these geographies that we look at for these ingredients. And ancient sources. There are ancient traditions, ancient food sources that actually, believe it or not, are becoming more and more scarce. And we want to preserve these and celebrate them. And so we want to focus on the ancient wisdom from these food sources and the ancient health practitioners. And so all of this is going into the mix that we use to to locate the ingredients, the proportion of ingredients, how they work together synergistically in each formula to create two amazing products. This just represents the global search, the locations actually that we have looked and searched for the best possible ingredients, the best sourced ingredients. This gives you an idea of the locations of the daily 3 system, of which the Next beverages are a significant part. These are some of those geographies that I talked about, where our ingredients are sourced from. This one slide should give you a great shareable to help people understand the difference between LoveBiome and product X, Y, or Z. We are passionate, we are passionate ethnobotanists. We are passionate about finding the best sources of ingredients throughout the world, the finest, the most beneficial sources, so that when we use this particular ingredient, we know it is the richest in phytonutrients, the richest in prebiotics and soluble fiber and so forth. Some of the impact ingredients in Next Balance. Next Balance is a blend of the powerful, globally sourced botanical ingredients that are dense in polyphenols and phytonutrients, specifically created to support a balanced and healthy gut microbiome. Ingredient number 1 is our red light noni ferment. I'm going to talk about this particular ingredient in just a minute in more detail. This is the most potent source of polyphenols that we've been able to find. A blend of fruit acids that the acidity balance that assist the acidity balance in your microbiome and support a healthy metabolism. Jackfruit and amla create a balance in our gut, an electrolyte balance. It's also good for anti-inflammation and immunity. Our turmeric ferment is a perfect support for our brain-gut connection. Assists in digestion and production of important neurotransmitters. The purple carrot, we know, is a great microbiome ingredient, a rich source of polyphenols and anthocyanins. Red grape is called the ancient queen of fruit for its rich source of anthocyanins and resveratrol. Blueberry is a great anti-aging ingredient and one of the most important foods to balance the bacterial diversity of the microbiome. And young pumpkin fruit is a great and very important ingredient for supporting cell repair, cell health, and cell function. And so healthy cell production and growth is a key benefit of pumpkin fruit. Now for detox, the impact ingredients, you'll notice that some of these are the same because of the benefits kind of transfer from one to the other. Purple carrot, for instance, is one of those ingredients that is in all 3 of our daily 3 products. Again, the polyphenols in the purple carrot provide a great detox benefit. Moringa leaf is a tremendous detox and cleanse ingredient. It strengthens muscle fiber. It repairs the gut wall. Cranberry is very well known for its detox benefits, reducing oxidative markers and carcinogen detoxification. We have a mixed berry concentrate that is supportive of a good microbiome diversity. And we know that the more diverse the bacterial strains are in our microbiome, the better the detox, the better the nutrient absorption, the nutrient uptake, energy, harvesting, all of that works better. Of course, red light noni ferment is also one of those crossover ingredients in both of our beverage products. Red light noni ferment is a phenomenal antioxidant, and it also provides DNA protection and skin glycation. Inhibits skin glycation. We know that sugar is an enemy of skin. It's also an enemy of our gut, and noni helps to neutralize that. Our artichoke is a great cleanse ingredient, particularly with working with the liver. It is very supportive of good liver health. Chlorella is just a classic detox ingredient. It reduces oxidative markers. And then turmeric ferment is another crossover ingredient from balance to detox. It improves circulation health and enhances blood flow. And so some of these ingredients we can see have benefit in both balance and detox. And then they are complemented by unique ingredients, for instance, specific ingredients in our detox product. Now, I want to talk about technology for a little bit, because technology was a driver in the development of Next, Balance, and Detox. Primarily, the technology that we were exposed to was the technology of red light ferment. Red light fermentation is simply a method of fermenting ingredients, in this case, noni and turmeric, but it actually can be utilized in other super botanicals as well. And we're actually investigating and developing these on an ongoing basis. But the red light process actually increases the beneficial output of the source ingredient by as much as 2.5 times. You can see on this chart that regular noni juice untreated versus red light ferment noni, the polyphenol benefit are 2.5 times. And so this is where technology assists these great traditions. Let me just go through a quick primer on red light noni, fermented noni. The patented red light fermented noni has a higher polyphenol content than regular noni juice. This higher concentration of phytonutrients and polyphenols have a direct positive impact on a healthy microbiome. And this is how it works. Beneficial microorganisms have photoreceptors that are sensitive to different wavelengths of light. Scientists have discovered that different light illumination can affect the growth rate and the production of those secondary metabolites. Metabolites are simply the production, the result of a fermentation process. We also call postbiotics metabolites. And so this term is becoming very, very familiar to us. And so what scientists have discovered is that illumination can actually improve the growth rate of these key ingredients or these key components called metabolites. Those metabolites are like postbiotics that become the fuel for our cells. And so that's what we want to get out of these botanical ingredients. This discovery pioneered a new way to process noni and other superfruits that enhances significantly the beneficial properties. And so we take a regular noni fruit or regular botanical ingredient, subject that to intense red light over a certain period of time. That red light allows that ingredient to ferment under the red light environment and allows the beneficial properties of that host or source ingredient to grow significantly, to benefit, so that when we add that into our ingredient or our formula, we're actually like adding 2.5 times the benefit for the same amount of ingredient that we're putting into the formula. It's amazing. Next combines the exclusive 3-step fermentation with red light procedure to ferment noni fruit. A very special LED spotlight is used to illuminate the liquid surface, providing energy to the microbes. Red light accelerates their microbial growth and greatly enhances the production of the functional ingredients. Red light has the strongest penetrating power among visible lights. This says Go Love Life. Sorry, you guys. LoveBiome found that the right light is the most effective for certain microbes that are grown to enhance the microbial fermentation reaction. And so through the technology or through the development process, red light was discovered to have the strongest penetrating power. The polyphenol content is dramatically increased. This is the payoff. Polyphenols are a category of compounds that are naturally found in certain plant sources, and in our red light fermentation process, from the source ingredient, we have been able to increase the polyphenol properties by 25%, the overall benefits by 2.5 times. And so this is just an example of where technology has kind of had a big influence in our development of these two amazing products. And so, through this discussion, I hope that you see that we started at the beginning. We started our love of plants. We started with our love of natural traditions, cultural traditions, and geography. And we exposed ourselves to new technology. This new technology has allowed us to create Next Balance and Next Detox, where without that technology or without the global approach, those products would not have been possible. So as you take the lid off of your Next Balance and Detox, gain a greater appreciation for what has gone into those products, and gain a better ability to explain to people what the difference is between LoveBiome and other companies, or Next Beverages and other beverages. There's a significant difference. Remember, our daily microbiome health program is simply this: we populate with friendly, diverse bacteria. We feed that bacteria with the best prebiotic soluble fibers and prebiotic food. And we empower that process through the diverse bacteria consuming the prebiotics and producing the most powerful postbiotic end products that in turn fuel the entire body, fuel every cell of the body, that facilitate the detoxification process, but not just the detoxification process, but the building process, the nutrient uptake process, the building muscles and skeletal process. Populate, feed, and empower. When we say that we are introducing people to their first comprehensive microbiome health system, this is exactly what they are beginning as they begin using Daily 3. The benefits of daily use: promotes bacterial diversity. This is a big story with LoveBiome. We believe in bacterial diversity in our gut. This is where we get the benefits of weight loss and lower stress and better sleep and stronger muscles and better immune system through bacterial diversity. You'll find that your immune system is stronger, a better ability to lose and maintain good weight, supports healthy sleep, supports the gut-brain connection, boosts energy, helps recovery. It's an anti-inflammatory, energy production and harvesting, and muscle and skeletal support. All of these are benefits of a comprehensive microbiome health program. This is what we created Daily 3 to do. I want to share with you some of the testimonials and comments and reviews that we've had of Balance and Detox. This individual says, every morning I take Balance. It makes me full of energy, helps me maintain a strong spirit and clear thoughts. The patented red light fermentation technology tastes very delicious. And that is a very, very good benefit, by the way, of the red light process. Never disappoints. Absolutely experience results within hours. My energy levels increased. My nails are strengthened. I went to the doctor and I was advised to keep up the good work. I love the taste. Detox is so delicious. It helps me sleep better at night if I take it before bed. Another one, I like to combine the Next Balance and Next Detox with a scoop of PhytoPower. It's very beneficial to my health. Now, what I want to do right now is I want to pause and turn the time back to Diz. And Diz is going to, as he does every week, to help us put into practice what we've learned through some usable shareables, simplified shareables, and ideas on how we can take this information and share it better. So take it away, Diz.
Thank you so much, Kelly. I really hope that everybody is just having an aha moment a goosebump moment. I know when I was talking to Kelly about this stuff yesterday, we were having a conversation about all this. I really got goosebumps about this idea. There's a saying that's really important to me in my life. I don't know if you guys have heard this one before, but it's unity in diversity. And unity in diversity is this idea that we celebrate what's different about us, what's different about our cultures, but that it all brings us together. And when Kelly and I were talking about this yesterday, I just kept thinking about that there's all these beautiful plants and that are all over the world that have been scattered, we have not access to them because of geography, that are coming together in our next products that really unify everything in what is our core is helping our microbiome. It's this marriage of science and traditions. I was telling Kelly yesterday, I was thinking a lot about how like my abuelita, my grandma, she's got so much wisdom that, when you're younger, you think, oh, that's old wives' tales, we say, right? That's superstition. But now we're finding out that a lot of the stuff that our ancestors were saying or doing it's actually true. There's science behind it. And so I love this unity in diversity. And so when I was thinking a lot about that, and when we're discussing this with Kelly, I thought, okay, so what are some shareables that could help you pique interest in that concept, this beautiful concept that our next brand is about just really celebrating cultures and celebrating diversity and celebrating what Mother Nature has given to us that we did not have access to before, but we have access to now. And it's so wonderful that LoveBiome brings it to you in this bottle, right? And so if you go to your tools section, and everybody's seeing my screen, right? If you go to the tools section, and you go to the digital library, if you go to the Americas folder, you go to the English folder, and again, this stuff will be done in other languages as well. You'll go to the social shareables folder. And remember, last week, we talked about how there's a new one called Peak Interest. If you go to that one, you'll see the shareables that pique interest on the first ones that we did, which is the microbiome general education. We got the phytopower ones that we added last week. And then this week, you'll see this folder called Next Beverages. And so what we've done is that, and this is just the start, we're going to keep adding to these. So make sure that you're coming back to this. But we've added some really interesting facts. Again, remember what I said earlier, the did you knows? Did you knows are such a powerful way to get people to pique interest. And we've got just some interesting facts that are meant to educate people about our ingredients, but they do so in a very subtle way. Notice that when you go through these, you'll notice that none of these are saying the product names. None of these are, telling you to go buy the product. Here's the link. Check it out. This is all piquing interest is all about creating curiosity. It's about educating folks. Remember, I talked last week about the law of reciprocity. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. Well, this is all meant to plant a little seed because we believe in this company that this love for plants and this appreciation to Mother Nature is inherent in us. And so these are all things that we didn't know that we're discovering now. The most of us didn't know. For example, yesterday, as I was doing the research for a lot of this stuff, man, I didn't know that a lot of our ingredients come from the India region. I didn't know that. And I thought, oh man, it's so cool. And I was reading so many articles about our ingredients and how it's all spread out. And so what you'll see with these shareables is those little facts about our ingredients that are planting seeds so that when you start talking to people about our products, they can recall back to that and say, oh yeah, I remember when you talked to me about jackfruit. or that post that you did about jackfruit being called the king of India. These are all things that are meant to educate, to pique interest, again, to add value. And so you'll find those there. Again, I promise you they will be available in all the languages that we support. Give a big shout out to your area presidents who do a lot of this work, and to you guys who are actually helping us with that. If you have any questions about that, please reach out. But again, guys, this is all about getting people to really to fall in love with the message that we have. That is such an important message, and I hope we all can agree that it's so important that we get this in the hands of as many people as we can. Thank you.
The next brand message, just remember this is the foundation of our products. Each culture has a rich botanical tradition. Geography has unique characteristics. Each human need drives innovation. This is the nexus of our next products, Balance and Detox, and future next products as well, by the way, that we celebrate the global culture, geography, and we know that human needs drive innovation. They drive us to find out what happens when we put these two ingredients together, when we take a little bit extra care to find the best sources of ingredients. And then as Diz mentioned again, this one slide, I just want to imprint on your mind. This tells you the commitment that we have to the finest products in the world. This is where the ingredients of Daily 3 are sourced from. They are the most diverse regions. We go there because this is where the best ingredients of the type that we are looking for can be sourced. And so I hope that those messages will help you appreciate better that as you share Daily 3 and specifically Next Balance and Detox, that you will help your customers, your friends discover the magic, the beautiful nature of these amazing beverages. And then as they begin to consume them, you drip information on them so they can appreciate more and more every day. When they take that lid off that bottle, they appreciate more and more what they're doing for their body.
Please subscribe to the channel, like and comment. It helps a lot to promote our channel. Thank you.